When we had this first come up and we had Roaring Kitty at his height, I asked the question, is the bulletin board, when you subscribe to a bulletin board on Reddit and people put information out there, is that stock research? Is that a recommendation? Is that evidence of front running? And I never got an answer from the SEC on that.
Okay, I've got to turn. We got a long agenda to talk. This is a 2-hour interview. Margaret Brennan would make it 3 hours. French Hill, in Arkansas, there is the idea of tariffs of China saying we don't want your chicken, or China doesn't want Brazilian chicken. They have tariffs that discourage the import of Tyson's Food chicken, Arkansas chicken, into China. So we're going to turn around and do 100% tariff on an EV that we won't let into the country as well? You're not in a swing state. Explain this.
Boy, that's such a good question. This is so concerning to me that when we get into this across-the-board tariff approach by either the Biden or Trump administration, we recognize that we have an economy that we're deeply integrated with. China and the United States have deeply integrated economies, so to use tariff policy really backfires ultimately on both countries. I think you're much better identifying the technologies you have concerns about in foreign direct investment in China and then handle it that way.
Paul, I remember years ago at lunch where a senior officer of Tyson's Food explained to me that they figured out where they could send the dark meat, and they would send the dark meat to China. It's old news, but the answer is the congressman says, we have relationships across many commodities.
Beaks and claws.
Yeah, right, okay.
Beaks and claws go to China.
Is that right?
Yes.
How big is Tyson Foods in Arkansas?
Well, it's one of our biggest corporate partners
Walmart,
because Walmart, Tyson Food, J.B. Hunt are our three big Northwest Arkansas anchor enterprises, and they're global reach.
Yeah, it's just extraordinary. So it is an election year. What does that mean for the day-to-day workings of Congress? Do you guys have I assume you have a to-do list. How does that impact it by the fact that it's an election year and there's a lot of noise in Washington?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Mike Johnson got to celebrate his first day as Speaker because after passing the Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan package, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act reform and reauthorization, and 24 spending, those were all things we were supposed to do in 2023.
Right.
So having cleared the decks of those, Paul, I think you'll see us move into a campaign mode, which is really messaging bills to show the sharp contrast between the Biden administration and how Republicans would govern. But there are things we have to do. A farm bill. Every 5 years, we authorize the agriculture programs. That's up. I expect to see that be marked up in the House Ag Committee this month. National Defense Authorization Committee, and then, of course, the most important is debating fiscal 25 spending. So those are all on the plate, even during an election year.
And, of course, we have geopolitical issues all over the world that has everyone's attention. What's your current thinking, or what's the current thinking within your house as to what's going on in the Middle East and our policy towards Israel, our policy towards that whole situation?
Well, our policy towards the Middle East, I think, has been off track as the Biden administration has really taken a page out of the Obama administration, which was to coddle Iran. And when you look at this, Iran is a partner in everything bad going on in the world today, including the invasion of Hamas from Gaza into Israel. And they're at the heart of it. And we freed up money. We freed them up from sanctions all under the Biden administration. House Republicans and a large portion of House Democrats oppose that policy. And I think it's at the heart of rearming Russia in Ukraine, partnering with China because China buys 80 or 90% of energy from Iran. And therefore sending them money. And then they're arming the Houthis that have disrupted Red Sea trade. So at the heart of this new axis of evil, I think you find Iran at every step.